Hello! So we're going to take a look at the changes they've made to Rush on Operation Locker. Now these changes are coming almost faster than I can make the videos on them. For the previous round of videos I played about 10 hours of Rush to get all the footage I needed to cover every aspect of the changes, and then there was another update. So this one's a bit different. I've played a couple of rounds of Lockers, recorded it and tried to get footage of everything, but obviously can't get footage of absolutely everything, so something we're going to just talk about. So this is base 1 on defence, and they haven't changed base 1, and that's a bit of a problem because this area here just becomes a stalemate. The defenders have so much cover and the attackers can only come through one doorway, so they're at an extreme disadvantage. Yes, they can come up the stairs, but that's even more vulnerable because that staircase on the left can be covered by the same people at the back that are covering the doorway. So this does need changing. B, which is the outside MCOM, isn't so much a problem. So this is the kind of problem that you get. You come up here and the defenders are just sat there waiting for you to go through that door, and you can pick off the ones that are being greedy and trying to get kills at the doorway, but there's a whole room full of cover that's all faced at that door, and there's not an awful lot you can do about it. At base 2 there have been quite a few changes, so this MCOM 2B is now outside, and that means it's a bit more vulnerable to the attackers and it spreads the play out. There's a lot more play on the outside route now in Rush because the MCOMs aren't all indoors. A is still in the same place, so it's stuck around here in this little alcovey bit, and it's pretty easy to defend. So this one takes a lot more flanking through the kitchens by the attackers to get. But they have widened this map out so you can flank all the way around the outside. So getting into A is a bit of a combination of a full attack head on and flanking around the outside to get some width. Although an RPG through the wall is still going to kill you. Getting to the outside MCOM is far easier because the route to it down that corridor has a lot more cover. So there's a few more items of cover down here, and of course you've got the burning pipes. So once you've got to that outside MCOM, defending it from the attackers inside is quite easy. On base 3, both MCOMs have moved. Now A has only changed position slightly, they've just moved it around, and I was kind of hoping I could trip that claymore without it killing me, but hey, there was a bunch of us so I got revived. So yeah, A has only moved slightly, they've just positioned it differently in that little alcove area, and B has moved outside. So again they're stretching the width of the map, so they're splitting the defenders, which means it's easier to get at the MCOMs. Before it was a bit too straight down the middle, and that meant that it was easier for the defenders to concentrate their fire on just a couple of areas. So B is now outside at the top of these stairs, and this is probably the worst way to get up to B, but you have to push both directions. You have to push the outside lane and try and get it from inside, because there are really only two routes this MCOM: up these stairs and down the snowy path. And if you rely on just the snowy path, you'll die, because all the defenders will be pointing in that direction. So with a combination of up the stairs and along the path, you can bully your way through to 3B, which is now sitting outside there. And although it's not ideal, Lockers is never going to be a good rush map just because of its layout. It is a lot better. As you can see, the attackers can now push through. Although this outside path could do with a bit more cover, because otherwise you're just going to get sniped. It's a similar story at base 4. So A is in its original position on that stairwell underneath, but B has moved outside. So that means now 2B, 3B and 4B are all on the outside snowy path. 1B was already outside, so it's only base 5 now that has both MCOMs indoors. And this MCOM can't really be defended from inside because it's on the defender's side of this entranceway. So you don't have to go across the entrance, exposing you to the people inside. And finally we have base 5, where nothing has changed. The MCOMs are in the same place they were before, so this is pretty tough on the attackers. They have slightly tweaked where the attackers spawn, but other than that, this is exactly the same as it's always been. It's just a mad close range firefight with lots of angles, lots of cover, but a million ways to get shot. Besides the MCOM changes, we've had a few changes to the cover, so a lot of it has moved around because the MCOMs have moved. So the new MCOM placements have got some extra bits of cover. They've increased the cover on the corridor between bases 2 and 3, and they fixed the exploit with the balconies in the central chamber, so you can no longer jump from the staircase window onto those balconies and effectively be in play and out of play at the same time. Have these changes made Operation Locker a good rush map? No, nothing is going to make Lockers a good rush map. It's far too narrow, it's got no flanking routes, it's another Metro. And after the problems they had with Metro, and the fact that there's still problems with it after 3 years and 2 different versions of Battlefield, why they made Operation Locker, I do not know. As a rush map, it's a bit of a disaster. It's better, but it far too often ends in the attackers being spawn camped, and the worst base for that is base 1. The base where they say the attacker should have the advantage. You can get pinned into your own spawn incredibly easy if you don't make the initial breakout. Anyway, that's Operation Locker's rush changes, but still avoid it like the plague. Thanks for watching.